Okay, hello to the world on the other side of my camcorder. This is going to be my second official No Screens Year update, and it's also going to be some question answering for the lovely people of YouTube who, for some reason, were shown my first screens update and were confused and had some questions. That leads me to answer the first question that Neve told me has been in a lot of comment sections, which is like, how in depth is this going, and what are the rules? I do have like a detailed document that I made about the project that should be in all my bios, that will explain like actually in depth what I'm doing, but I can give a general breakdown, and a perfect segue is to introduce you to my little free write traveler. This was a big investment for me many years ago now, for writing poetry and songs, and also I've tried to write a couple of small novels on here. But it's basically a typewriter, but with a screen. So that is a good answer to the first question. It's not strict. The more specific, like, no screens was just sort of the like catchy, succinct way to say it, but more specifically, it's no smart screens. So I just don't have access to any screens that I can access the internet on when I'm not being monitored. So I don't have a TV, I don't have a computer, laptop or desktop. I don't have a smartphone, obviously. I have a dumb phone. So it's just that I can still use screens. They're all just very basic screens that I cannot be on the internet on. So yeah, I mean, I could really go through the document in detail, but I feel like it's easier to just send you to read it if you're curious. I kind of go through all the things that I have used all those devices for in the past and explain how I'm doing it now. And like a lot of it is just leaning on my friends and like asking for accommodations. But I had a meeting with Neve, who is my friend who's posting and editing stuff for me, which, by the way, I am lucky enough to be able to pay them to do that job. So that is a privilege that allows me to do this project. But anyways, I sat across from them and they told me some of your comments, and I wrote them down on my little free write so that I can answer them. So I will do that, and then I'll do like a very brief little update about how I've been feeling, what's been going on. So the first one that Neve sent or told me about was, could you talk about, or this was my favorite one actually that they mentioned, and their favorite too. Could you talk about your motivation behind sharing this journey on the internet? You explained how living felt like performing. Sorry. My little thing went dark. Hello. Come back. Okay. You explained how living felt like performing to you, so I'm wondering, does this also feel like a performance, or does being isolated from the conversation detach you from that feeling? I ask because I'm struggling with this idea for myself. Can I truly decenter social media if I'm talking about it on a social media platform? Is the point to get to a place where we can write our diaries like no one is reading it? I love this question. I'm so happy to talk about it, and it was actually going to be part of my update anyways. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out the psychology behind it, but for some reason, talking into the camcorder, knowing that it's going to be posted online, isn't giving me the feeling of being watched. And it also doesn't, I also, for some reason, I'm not experiencing anxieties about who sees the video and their reactions to it. Like all the things that used to control the way that I behaved and interacted with the internet, I'm not experiencing, and I can't really figure out why, because there is a part of my brain that knows that this will go online and strangers will see it and interact with it. I guess that means that a lot of my relationship to the internet before was formed by my actual by the actual physical feelings that I got from looking at it. Does that make sense? Like, I experienced no anxiety about any of the songs or update videos that I posted. Like, I didn't feel like I was performing for them. I don't even feel like I'm performing for this right now, which usually I do feel like I'm performing when I post online. But then this one day I got a little glimpse of like over my partner's shoulder at Instagram, and one of my posts was on their feed. And then all the horrible feelings like came rushing back into my body. And I realized that it's like my psychological response to it is something very direct and specific. Like, I am reacting to the exact image of like an Instagram page with the exact font and the colors and like everything about it. Like, it was like such an instantaneous thing that I can't even bring into my body right now, even if I try on purpose, even though I know that I'm talking to the internet and that people will see this, like strangers will see this and have whatever reactions they're going to have to it. Like, for some reason, it is detaching me from it. And I don't know why. And then as far as the second part of your question, is the point to get to a place where we can write our diaries like no one is reading it? I think so. I also don't know, because something I think about a lot sort of philosophically, and that I have been thinking about a lot through this project, is that I think that the good beating heart of why we like being online is because we can be connected to each other, because we're just such social beings, and we're also like beings who really, really need each other to survive. Like, human beings need each other. And the reason why I liked being on the internet was because I liked to share with other people, because that's such a natural thing to share with other people, and I like to be shared with. Like, I like to see what other people were sharing with me or with the public or with their friends or whatever. Like, the sharing aspect was what felt good about it. And I miss like being able to see what other people are sharing online. But the feeling of like just experiencing a life and wanting to share about it, like, it feels like I'm accessing that good part of being online very purely right now, because I am just sharing for the sake of it, because I want to, just by myself, like to you, but like not in this way where I'm like so aware of the exact presence of who's receiving it. It just feels like sharing for the sake of it, which is what I liked about it in the first place. So I honestly don't know if we ever can completely arrive at a feeling of like being able to exist without caring what people think about it. Because I do think, like, to a certain extent, that's human nature, to want to share and to care what people think. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like I'm still discovering how that all feels, and I'll keep you posted because I like thinking about it and sharing. What if some things that have been helping the transition? Mainly just, leaning on my friends, like telling my friends to call me, calling them, making purposeful plans, and books. I've read, I think, 12 books since just over a month ago when I started this. Also, meant to say that at the beginning, this is my month-ish update. And yeah, books. I've been reading a lot. When I have like urges and to go online, when I have urges to go online, I just pick up a book. And it has meant that I have read a lot, but it feels really good and I'm learning so much. And I do a little, here, I'll show you, BRB. I'm just going over here to get, oh man, it's downstairs. Oh no, it's here. I do a little entry. I have a little journal. This journal has a little ASMR for you. This journal has all of my songs and poetry in it, but it also has like a bunch of junk pages, and these little yellow tabs are for books. So every time I finish a book, I write a review in my little journal, and I've been realizing that writing about a book right after I finish it makes me feel like I'm actually learning from the book, which is an amazing feeling that I forgot that I could do on purpose by myself that I didn't need to do through the structure of like school or a class. So like the last couple books I read were Making Love with the Land by Joshua Whitehead, 5 Ways to Forgiveness by Ursula K. Le Guin, the Exogenesis series by Octavia Butler, Parable of the Talents and Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, The River Has Roots by Amal El-Motar. That's just in the last couple weeks. By the way, I really liked all those books a lot. So reading. Reading is a big one. I feel like this is going to be so long. Okay. Already past 10 minutes. That's okay. Oh, this is a question that I am excited to talk about and was interested to see that a lot of people asked, or hear that a lot of people asked. How do I keep up with the news and stuff? And how do I basically be a good community member without being online? And at first I was like really kind of shocked by this question, because I was like, admittedly I felt a little bit like, have we like fallen so far that we forget that we can be in this world without being online? And then I caught myself and realized the sort of hypocrisy in that feeling, because the whole reason why I wanted to do this project is because I felt like I couldn't. And in some ways you kind of can't. Like, it's really hard to exist without social media. And social media is such a huge part of our social lives now that it basically is our social lives, ? And like, it is an incredibly important tool, of resistance sometimes. And it will always be that tool. And I'm still using it as a tool of resistance as a way to spread information. Even though I'm not personally on it, like asking my friend Neve, my social media manager, to repost important things or post important things. I think it will always be used as that kind of a tool. And to be clear, like this journey is about reconnecting, and it's also about resistance to like big tech and letting it control my life and steal my life. But the reason why I've cut it out completely and I'm not currently like using it as that helpful tool that it can be to stay informed about the world is because of a personal journey that I have with screens in general. I just historically have been very addicted to them, and they've been really bad for me. So I kind of need to quit entirely to like get rid of my dependence on them. So I would love to talk a little bit about how I am still showing up in my community and in the world. And the ways that I stay informed are pretty straightforward. I listen to my local leftist radio. There's news on there. I read my local leftist papers, and I make sure I know where to get them. I, talk to my friends. My friends call me about important things that are happening. I read books about things if I am curious and want to explore a subject further. And I am like participating in organizing in my city just through like meeting people who care and volunteering my time and energy to it. And I think that is like, I am becoming very passionate about the fact that actually not accessing this stuff through social media has made me more able to be present and a good community member, and to give more of my time and more of my heart to that work. Because I think interacting with something in real life forces you to commit to it in a way that you can't online, because you can't contextualize the people that you are interacting with, if that makes sense. Like attending a community meeting and seeing the faces of the other people who live close to you, who care, it installs itself in your heart and in your body in a way that your brain just can't do to the same extent, I think, when you're interacting with people online. It makes you more determined to make sure that nothing happens to those people and to your community because you know them, at least in like, you know them, you really know them, even in a very surface level way. You know the way they move and the way they talk, and they're so real to you just from the first meeting. And it's not that you need help to care about strangers on the internet, but it's more like, it's easier to pretend that things are happening far away from you when you aren't faced with the physical, material reality of the people that the world is affecting, including you sharing your own experiences with those other people. So yeah, this project is not about checking out of the world and paying attention to myself. It's an attempt to do the opposite. It's an attempt to get myself back into the world in every way that I possibly can, including showing up as best as I can for as many people as I can, like, whatever that takes. So that's a question I felt passionate about answering. And then this is another thing I should have said at the beginning of the video, but I'm not used to vlogging, and I did not make a good enough plan for this. But people asked how I'm doing this, and the answer, which is kind of cool that people are like interacting with me because of this project, or interacting with me online because of this project, who don't know where I originated online, but I am a musician. I'm a touring singer-songwriter, musician. That's my full-time job. And that is the reason why I can cut these things out of my life. I know that a lot of people work in places where they need to be on a computer all day long, and this is not something that they can do. And this will be a lot harder for me once I'm on the road. I'm going on tour in like a week. It'll be a lot harder for me then because I will not have the opportunity to be making much stuff to put online. And yeah, so there's moments of my life where it will be hard to do this, and then also moments where I'm way more able to do this than other people because I'm still doing work when I'm home. I'm writing and doing all the stuff that my job requires me to be, like housekeeping and stuff. It requires me to be doing while I'm home. But I am just also a person who can just be doing that work in my house during the day. And I have a lot of freedom in that way, which I'm very lucky to have. So that's one of the reasons why I can even do this project in the first place. I'm just looking through what Neve communicated to me. I think that's kind of it for the big questions. There's more stuff about the specifics of the project, but I again might just send you to the document because I feel like I say it a lot better in the document than I'm going to say it now. But yeah, I guess I'll get into a little actual update about how it's going now. I'll keep it brief because this video is gonna be 20 minutes long. Sorry. I'll also walk you down the stairs so I can show you how my chart has changed if anyone is here from the other video. Oh my god, my studio is so messy. So little updates. I've been feeling good. I had a couple of, here's my little thing. Okay, so 11 books read, 12 songs written. I think this number is probably bigger than it is right here, but sometimes I forget. I've practiced my instruments a lot. Had a lot of wonderful, fulfilling hangs and also stuff. And turned you the wrong way. But to summarize a couple of the things that I've been feeling, move back so you can see me. One of the main things that I'm noticing is that I am a way better listener and a way better I'm much better at being more present in my relationships and in social situations. I'm like all of a sudden so excited at any opportunity to be around people and hearing about their lives. And I think I maybe had a hearing about people's lives exhaustion going on before, where like I didn't know how to feel excited about that all the time when I was being so inundated with so much information about so many people's lives while I was online. And I knew everything about what was happening to my friends, so it was hard for me to experience like real, true curiosity about then hearing about it in person, because I felt like I kind of already knew. There was like this false sense of closeness that I wasn't aware of, or maybe I was aware of in the back of my mind. But now when I see my friends, I genuinely don't know what has been happening to them, and they genuinely don't know what's been happening to me, really. And so I experienced like this actual profound excitement to like hear about their lives and what they've been up to. And it causes me to be much less selfish and much less like I'm really listening, and I'm really like soaking up everything they're saying, and I'm really aware of how lucky I am to be talking to them and hearing about their lives. I'm getting choked up a little bit. But I don't know, like I just have felt so in it all. And I felt that way about a lot of other parts of my life too, but the place where I'm noticing it the most has been my relationships. I think that's my most profound observation from the last couple of weeks, from just being about a month into this project. Apart from the fact that maybe the one other big observation that I've made is that it doesn't feel, hi Normal, it doesn't feel as hard as I thought it was going to feel. I thought that this would be the different thing. I thought that I was changing my life to be something different than what is normal for my life, and that maybe doing the different thing might help me or make me feel good. But once I started doing it, I realized that actually it feels more like returning to normal. And I think that that's because I can still remember the formative years of my life when this, like, screens were not a huge part of it. Like, it kind of just feels like being 13 again. And I was expecting it to feel so strange, but instead it feels like, yeah, a returning to myself and to the way that the world used to feel. And that sounds kind of corny, but I think it's really true. And I'm very, very grateful for it. It's been one of my favorite things that I've been experiencing since I started this. So yeah, I might make a more in-depth video about where I go through my little journal that I'm keeping, my study of myself. But I thought that I could kind of combine my update with answering some questions. And I'm sorry if this is being long-winded. I was amazed that anyone watched my full 10-minute one. And this one is going to be even more of a challenge. 23 minutes or something. But if you're curious and here, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope that it inspires you to, I don't know, get back into your body a little bit or something. Get involved with something in person that makes you feel good and connected to your community. Yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. I got a P.O. box, and I just wanted to show this. I got this little thing that's so cute. And I've been answering everybody's letters. I have my little envelopes, and I put my unanswered letters in here. And thank you so much to anyone who has sent me a letter. Receiving letters and replying to letters has been one of the greatest joys of this entire thing so far. I freaking love it. So, yeah, thank you for watching all of this if you did. And hello from the other side. And if you're coming to tour, I will see you. If you're coming to tour in the UK and Europe, I'll see you in like a week, depending on when this gets posted. Week from today, so probably even sooner if this is posted later. Yeah. Farewell. See you next time.